Ladies and gentlemen,
let's get started.
I have thought a lot in the last 24 hours.
Time to get your weekly sports fix.
By the skin of their teeth, they lost.
Then you can just ride it the whole thing.
With Sticks.
You lucky I came back for this.
Shit,
I was going to boycott.
Yeah, right. You ain't boycotting nothing, homie. You've been boycotting for the last 6 months, homie. You think you got busy. You think you busy and you have shit to do or whatever. Kids to chase around, kids to drop off. Fuck, homie, you gotta get on my schedule, dog. That 8 to 6 and every other weekend, and
I ain't gonna lie, I miss it though.
Hey,
I miss it.
Telling you, dog. I'm telling you, I miss you too. That's homie's version of saying he misses me a little bit.
It is
all love. Yeah, bro. No, it's
getting
been
in
rough.
touch with my sensitive side.
It's been rough the last couple of years with me moving and fucking getting a different job and working this job and that job and doing this. It's just different character. It's just the way, we did the retail shit for so long. It's kind of like, you get on that schedule and you kind of make your own schedule, being the boss, and you could do it, you could plan it. Now it's like, fuck, dude. I told you that before. I maybe on air, off air, I don't know. The 8 to 6, bro, like sometimes the 6, bro, I'm not even lying. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm in bed by like 8 or 9 o'clock most nights.
That's the reason why people are so envious of that style of work scheduling, and that's why they call it the banker's hours. Everybody refers to anything like that as banker's hours. I don't do anything outside of this. Don't ask me for anything. So yeah, those are always envious situations. You mentioned before how we had those schedules that didn't have consistency unless we created consistency in the schedule, because it couldn't be consistency based upon customer need. You gotta look at what customers need. Customers need something all the time, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. And you know what the wild part about it is even though it's only 6 o'clock, like, granted, when I worked in the other gig, at 5 o'clock, I'd be out at 5 o'clock, bro. That extra hour, of course.
Yeah.
I lived at half a minute away. I still live 10 minutes away from the new gig, right? But the extra hour, bro, is just so much more
it lasts
available.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So much more available, man. Like, get off at 5 o'clock. I could be home ready to go by 6. We could fire something up and ready to go. Do something. We could chop it up for 45 minutes and be done with it. Then 7 o'clock's here, 7 o'clock's here. Good to go, whatever. But it's wild, but it's good, man. It's good, get into it, and schedules are wild. You got kids,
always.
you got a new dog hanging out at the house, little Taco, chirping and biting at your ankles. Nacho, that's it.
Nacho,
little Nacho hanging out. This is funny.
Yeah, he ain't quite a full taco yet. He's still just little nachos.
A little Nacho, but hey, you want to get into some sports mumbo jumbo? Fuck, we have no idea what we're going to talk about. We'll just roll through it.
Tell me what's been going on. Well, okay, so because you haven't seen it, and we were just talking about this, we can get this out the way. Now, we know that this New England Patriots story has been told. It's already happened. It was real. It's been documented, right?
This is the Dynasty thing, right?
The Dynasty on Apple TV Plus,
Apple
Plus TV,
Plus.
whichever they call it, right?
Yeah.
It is, I'm telling you, all of our gaps that we assumed, thought about are filled in. And now we're talking about actual individuals who were involved. I'm telling you, Matt Castle was interviewed. When have we heard anything from Matt Castle about his run that he had?
So let me ask you this, homie. I haven't got it yet. I haven't found it. I don't even know if I have Apple TV.
I wish I knew what the password. I'd give it to you, but I don't even know what the password is.
I think my brother has it on the regular TV. I might be able to see it, but so let me ask you this. There's a question. I think I messaged this.
Yep,
so this is a 10-part series, right?
Yeah, they just completed 6.
And they're doing it by weeks, similar to what they did with the MJ doc, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is this worth a seg about? Is this worth something that we could talk about like we did the MJ
Hell
documentary
yeah.
back in what was it, 2020, right?
Yeah, no doubt, because there's so many different crevices that you can jump into with this story because they start from the beginning. This is not just Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Patriots dynasty documentary, basically on how the winning nature started from the old what is that dude's name? The mascot for the Patriots, the what Pat is it? Patriot Pat, the Patriot Pat on the helmet, and then losing, and Bob Kraft just being a fan of the team with a paper mill company that wants his team to be a winner one day. Now, to know Tom Brady, know nothing yet.
You know what's funny is because the reason why I ask is if it's something that we need to get into, I need to watch.
You don't leave it.
Take notes, and I want.
Okay.
And are we gonna? This is where I want it. This is why I asked this question, because in the MJ doc when it started, everybody was fired up. You couldn't pull up any social media and see or talk about it. Okay, right, and not know anything about it. And we went on a binge. We watched it. We talked about weekly when we did it. Right, we talked about that weekly. There's nothing else going on in 2020 when it happened. Right.
Right.
But the reason why I ask is because I've literally seen maybe one clip, not one clip, but one person on Twitter that's pulled up, or X or whatever you fucking want to call it.
Yeah.
That I've seen one thing documented, talked about, right?
Talking about it. Yeah.
Talking about it. So, and that was from a Patriots fan who is on there that somehow pops up on my feed. So there's nowhere near the MJ conversation in this. So that's why it's kind of baffles me that, when you brought it up, like I said, I didn't even know that it was going down.
I stumbled on it.
Is it because it's on Apple? And
that's what was going to be my thought is this a thing because nobody fools with Apple really unless you get it when you get your new phone and they give you 3 months. Most people aren't doubling back to get that Apple TV unless it's a part of your little 3-month trial that you get when you first get your phone, your tablet,
started on all the
or whatever. Yeah, so that was the first thing I was thinking was, how did I catch this? And they're already 4 episodes in, and I haven't heard from Mad Dog. I ain't heard none of the
nobody talking, not even the the other radio personalities. They're not as big as us, but the other ones that may be on the same level. They're not even talking about it either.
That's what I tripped off of. So I clicked on it that one day, and like I said, when I was texting, I said it just fills in a lot of the detail-y gaps about the story, because you get the Parcells story, how we even got to Bill Belichick from the Patriots' point of view, right? Because they went to the Super Bowl with Bill Parcells. If you forget, right? That was Brett Favre. You feel what I'm saying?
What do you mean, Brett Favre? You mean
Patriots versus the Green Bay Packers in that Super Bowl. I believe it was 97, 98, something of this nature. I had just gotten up here. And they made it to the Super Bowl without them. And, so they talk about that buildup of how quickly Kraft was able to transition this franchise that was garbage to at least getting Bill Parcells here and getting to the Super Bowl before Belichick, before Tom Brady. So he has his own thing. Parcells is real short. Another enlightening thing that I saw again was the Matt Castle situation. And of course, that they go to the origin and they call up Drew Bledsoe and they get his opinion on. I'm talking about real-time opinions. About with clips and everything about his opinion on. And I don't remember it being, that big of a thing between them, but the way that they laid it out this was a major conversation that was being talked about, whether we bring back Drew, because Drew is our guy that we paid all this bread to, went overall #1. So, like I said, I'm telling you, we could, because it's not over yet. It's just a little bit over you said halfway over.
It's 6 and there's 10. It's 10 episodes, just like the MJ doc, right?
So we're up to Aaron Rodgers. We'll leave it at, or not Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Hernandez.
Oh,
that's where we're up to. So we've already won a couple times. We've lost a couple times. Eli got us twice already. which they don't, which is funny how they cover that story too.
And let me clarify this. When you say us, you're not talking about your team. Like
No,
you
right.
have nothing to deal with them. You're just
Because it's
talking
the
about the
Patriots doc.
documentary.
Yeah.
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 Okay, got you. Yeah,
Because
I just
that's
want to
the way
make
that
sure
they
because I wanted the people to know that you're not us. You're not the Patriots guy. You're just following to see the stories.
exactly, exactly. Because it's a Patriot story. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when and that's the way that they're telling it is from like how the fans were feeling at the time, and they go into it. So for Boston sports fans, I'm surprised because you know how
That's
Boston
what I'm
sports
saying,
news
and
kicks
because
off so much.
yeah, and I that's what I'm saying. It's like not anybody really talking about it. No personalities talk about it. Not even I don't know. Like I just don't see it. And I ain't gonna lie. I'll tune in. I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I was a bigger basketball fan back then when the MJ was going down.
Right.
Right? Everybody was. Everybody still is an MJ fan, but it
Yeah.
just doesn't seem like this doc has a lot. And with that being said, too. I was looking forward to the Aaron Hernandez doc, which I heard more about than I heard
Right.
about this dynasty.
Yeah.
And I think the Aaron Hernandez doc was like on A and fucking E or some shit.
Right. It
Right.
was.
And so, but yeah, I'll tune in. Let's see if we can. I'll see if I can catch up. If it's a 10-part episode and it's 2 every week or whatever, bro, I'll tell you what, I'll wait until it's over and then I'll binge it because I want to be able to watch it and take notes and figure out what's going on. So we'll get into that more later. But I wanted to hear your take on that because you were talking about it and you were like, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You'll be surprised at how many players that they got comments from and they got sit downs from. You'll be amazed,
Let's end this real quick with this. After you said you've seen 6 episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the 6 episodes that you've seen, could they have done more? Or should they do less? Or is it just about right? Because you know how docs go. They have up to each episode, they build it up. I get it.
Right.
But there are things that are left out through those episodes that could have been mentioned or brought up. What do you think?
No, I think they're doing it right because I think that there's so many people that are removed from the situation now that they're really giving it up. Like I said, you'll be surprised at how many players that they got to sit down. Everybody seems to be real forthcoming.
That's good. Straight up.
Well, the one person who ain't forthcoming for shit because he's on to Cincinnati. Right. So he's not saying anything. Mom is the word with Bill Belichick. He's still not saying too much of anything, but they get an opinion from him about stuff. But he's got a guy that I don't think we've ever heard about that's been with him running stuff the whole time, that he ain't an OC, he ain't a DC. I don't even know. He looks like Colonel Sanders. Okay. And this man is basically Belichick's ace homie that we did not know about, who's been basically helping him run the Patriots without one of those coordinator titles. And I'm telling you, so the stuff ties in because we've gotten so many different news articles and stuff like that. So we know facts. Now let's get opinion from the people involved. So I think that they're doing it right from highlighting the Patriots' point of view.
Okay, that makes sense. I just, like I said, I just want to know. So, I guess we'll just stay on the football topic and we'll divert a little bit from the NFL. We'll just go to the XFL.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to run some combine drills or something real quick.
Not yet, but there is a combine, and that's why we're talking about a little bit about this, about the only thing going on. Quick, easy question, another one for you. I'm going to answer it first. The XFL and USFL, we had those, over the years and, all the stuff happened. Mm-hmm. So they merged to the UFL.
Right.
And they have 8 teams, begins March 30th. Will you tune in, homie, when it starts on March 30th? Because I will.
I think so. The reason why I think so this time is because of the way that they've got it. So they basically put the two things, they put the two guys, but they're kind of conferenced out together.
Mm-hmm.
They split them down the middle, so it's almost like these guys
They pick
versus
these
these
four.
guys.
They pick these four. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a little unbalanced because I think USFL or XFL or something didn't have the same amount of teams that they brought in together. So they're put two over here, but it almost seems like an XFL division versus a USFL division. So you'll get a little, the Battlehawks in their situation on USFL with, in that kind of thing in conference. And then you'll get your XFL guys all competing under the same rules. So I'll love to see how they integrate some of this. And of course, play around with some of the rules so we can integrate them up top.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know that they're working on the getting rid of the chain gang, right? I know you heard that. I've been talking about, the
evolution of
auto strike
technology
zones forever. Yeah. So now they're talking about doing this with a beam or a legit beam that works and testing that out. So maybe they'll test out some of the stuff and we'll get some of these new rules.
Which they should. That's a great point, homie. Like you said, the strike zone in MLB, that's a different story. No, that's garbage. We don't need the digital strike zone in MLB. But you're right on the NFL standard part of it. How many times the XFL or the UFL and the NFL standard of the beam to do the thing? I mean, contracts have been using the fucking laser beam forever, bro. And now the technology that they got with the football right now, they should just be able to, laser that up. Because how many times does a goddamn 75-year-old man pick up the football and spot it 2 inches this way, 2 inches that way, blah, 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 blah. There is no doubt in my mind that needs to be implemented someday, sooner or later. So good. Homie's gonna be tuning in. I thought, I may know you a little bit. I thought you would have leaned the other way, but I'm proud of you, homie. I'm proud of you.
Well, we'll see, because I say this every year, and then I never get past
give him
week
opportunity.
1 or 2. I never get past week 1 or 2 because I go, these dudes aren't professional. No shots to these guys.
But you know what?
When I don't see routine plays being made, and when I watch football, I see routine plays being made. I go, okay, come on, this ain't funny.
I just thought of this off the cusp too. This is kind of different, but I agree with you because of the play on the field in that level. And you know what could hurt this league is the NIL, right? If you want to get into the NIL and you want to get these guys and the players, they're not gonna stay in college for 2 years now. They're more likely to stay in college longer now if they're decent to get the NIL money.
Damn right.
Because before they could have came out and said, "Oh, I'm going to try to go to the NFL." You didn't make it. Now they can go to the UFL,
right?
Prove themselves. Yeah. However, if the NIL money is there and they somehow get a chunk of this, they can stay in there in college and play a little bit more. So the game may be a little bit less, competitive for them. So that might be a challenge for the UFL, if that makes any sense. But at the same time, I still think it's going to be the turning point, and I think it's still going to be great for the NFL to have this kind of as a lower level to get into the
developmental league.
Developmental, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, you want to do a G League type of situation.
Yeah,
because
it's working. It's worked. Look at the XFL and USFL have players in the NFL now. It's worked before.
It's always going to work because you're always going to find these jewels out here. But think about this: if I'm 19 and I go to University of Texas, hey, look, I want a crib like Caleb Williams too in college, and you know what I mean, and playing with this level of talent, I want that. So why am I going to sit up here and say I'm going to go to, because I can't go to the pros because we don't have any, you got to go, what is it? You have to be at least a junior for NFL draft, right? You can't be an underclassman of
you can't be 18 years old like LeBron.
So you can't divert the system like these NFL or the NBA players do by going to high school and then let me go play for G League something until I meet the requirement then. You don't want to play with these guys and be playing with AJ McCarron on the Battle Hogs. You know what I mean? You don't want that. You want to be playing at a prestigious university like your USC's and like your Ohio States, Michigan's, on the biggest stage with Fox blasting you out on Big Monday or Big Noon and this kind of thing. You want that audience and you want that bread, because guarantee you what, USFL is not giving me that kind of bread.
I agree. And let's roll out of the UFL. We're both going to be tuning in. We'll both be watching.
I'll check it out.
We'll watch that, and we have to watch NASCAR at the same time. So that's another story. We gotta look out for our boy Kyle Larson. See how he's doing. I had something on Kyle Larson a couple weeks ago. We were talking,
what happened?
But no, I forgot. I forgot what I was going to talk about. But I'm segging away from the UFL, UFL, and the NASCAR. I do want to talk NASCAR, but we're not going to do it today.
Okay.
Because I do have a couple things on that I wanted to talk about that I don't remember right now. But we're going to stay with the NFL, and we're just gonna run through some crazy storylines, because I know how Homie likes the storylines. I want to give Homie's voice on some storylines.
Okay, let's go.
Let's start with Caleb Williams. Supposedly the number one overall pick, which tomorrow the quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers are going. And I'm not sure if you were talking about the combine earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's rolling in or not, or what he's doing. I know he's not doing like the physical or whatever the bullshit he's doing.
Pull my Lambo up to the combine.
Here's my wild scenario, homie.
I wrote this down a few days ago, and I don't know what kind of a state of mind I was in, so who knows what the hell's going on. But I think Chicago trades the number 1 to Tennessee, and they'll get the 7, and Tennessee will take Caleb Williams, which they have Will Levis, right? Which isn't a bad quarterback. I mean, he's definitely better than Ryan Tannehill. We saw that last year. Actually, they have Will Levis and Malik Willis. So if you have two quarterbacks, do you have Malik? If you have two quarterbacks, do you even have one? No.
Well, there you go.
So go back to what you were saying. Go ahead.
Points. And then my thoughts turned me to, or they traded to number 8 to Atlanta, so that Chicago will trade to number 8 to Atlanta, and Atlanta will get the number 1 pick, where Raheem Morris already said he's not a Desmond Ridder fan, because he mentioned something about, well, if they had a good quarterback, then I wouldn't be in the situation. Okay, their new head coach, Raheem Morris, said, I wouldn't be in this situation if they had a good quarterback.
Right.
So that's my final answer. However, this is set up for Barcott when we get Barcott on next time. The Caleb Williams fan, quote unquote. Caleb Williams is still not a number 1 pick. And shout out to my boy Greg Bachman. He's gonna hate me on this too. Caleb Williams is not a number 1 pick in my book either.
Mental, yo. I don't know what's wrong with you, yo. But go ahead.
This is my homer pick. Penix is going to show out. When we talked about the combine, this is what started this whole conversation. That's why I went with that.
He will be at the combine.
Penix will show out at the combine tomorrow. I don't care what people think about his 2 knee surgeries, 2 ACLs, whatever. He's going to lighten up some fools, and he's going to be the talk of the combine tomorrow. So all these quote unquote number 1 picks are going to have some conversations going on tomorrow at the combine.
I agree with that, because I know for a fact, I know that he's the type that wants to show up, because he probably knows who is not going to show up. I bet you Drake May is going to show up. So it'll be those 2 guys that'll be doing that. And the rest of these dudes like Jalen Daniels and Caleb, they will wait until pro days and cater their situation like Baker did back in the day. Okay. Yeah. So I agree with you with Penix opening some eyes up. Let's go to what you said. Do you know where the boy Caleb Williams is from originally, high school and all of this stuff?
I do not.
Look, you don't have to look any further except for the number 2 pick in the draft, who is being held up by a drunk owner and Magic Johnson. Okay.
Washington.
So the Washington football team, aka Commanders. I'm telling you, watch for the push. I heard a small amount of talk. I wish I could give credit, but I did hear a small amount of talk in swapping 1-2 because they were looking for how did Caleb feel about playing outdoors in Chicago under those circumstances. And he said his feedback was, I'll play anywhere. Okay. And you know what that is? That's QB talk, right?
First of all, his
he's
camp
playing the good
said,
fight.
first of all, his camp said he ain't going number one. He doesn't want to go to Chicago. And
Okay.
then now recently, once you get to the fucking combine, now this motherfucker's saying, oh, I love Chicago. I don't care.
He's got to do that though. You can't do a John Elway. You can't do an Eli Manning.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, there's no way that's happening
You can't do that.
times.
And I don't think that he should, but I think that if there's some way that if he did want to play for his hometown squad and play in DC, who plans on Magic and this drunk owner, I can't remember his name, but every time they do an interview with him, he looks hammered at the games. Is planning to move the team's stadium to Virginia, the edge of Virginia, out of DC. But anyway, so they're trying to build a buzz so they can get this stadium cracking. And what is the best way to do that is to go headlong into the hottest thing smoking. That is, everybody's, mini me, Patrick Mahomes. You hear all of this kind of thing. Now, he could turn out to be Bryce Young. You know what I mean? In terms of playing with men out here. And not just, whoever your competition was in the former Pac-12, but at the same time, you need the splash. You need a guy who's already on Wendy's commercial so you can already have that relationship with Wendy's so they can put a sign up in your stadium and all over the place. So these are the things I'm thinking. Now, this is just conspiracy theorist type situations, but it makes sense. What is Washington getting for this, or not Washington? What is Chicago getting for this pick swap? You know what I mean?
Where's the money going to come from? How are you going to promote this dude that's going to be your quarterback? And to be honest, how do you move on from Justin Fields? I mean, in my opinion, I wish I had the stats up in front of me. He's not a bottom tier quarterback.
No,
he's not top tier quarterback by any means, but he's right in the middle with the other 15 middle tier quarterbacks
that are all rated exactly the same.
They could all be the same level. And you got 32 teams in the NFL, right? Or whatever it is, right?
Right. Still 32, I think.
32, yeah. So 32 teams that you can evaluate these quarterbacks. I'll tell you what, though. Cam Newton isn't one of them. So, and you got what? Mac Jones and like you said before, homie, you got 2 starting quarterbacks. You don't have one.
No.
In New England, Justin Fields is better than both of those guys. So, anyway.
I don't know. The Justin Fields thing is baffling to me. I know it's probably not going to work in Chicago.
They didn't even have a running back last year.
Exactly. I think if Chicago gives up because whatever, they're looking at the 4th year coming up and having to pay somebody and they'd rather start back over on the cheap, you know what I mean? And on the timeline, cheap timeline with the quarterback. I feel that, but somebody's going to come up, I think. Now it just has got to be, the system's got to be right. You got to, clearly look at Lamar's system. Okay. And he can't get it done. So where is this guy going to get a shot at? And I think that he might be one of those situations, casualties that came out hot and we just stopped hearing about him. I think that's what's going to happen, It's unfortunate, but like Teddy Bridgewater. Now that was an injury, but he was a completely serviceable starting quarterback in this league that fits in that box category where they all grade out the same, right? Same thing with Justin Fields with a different skill set, right? But it seems like where is he going to turn, for him to land? Now, if Washington doesn't go with Caleb Williams or one of these new guys, they should probably try to get, but I don't think nobody wants to do the trade. Nobody wants to give up assets for Justin Fields. That's why I think he's going to stall out, It's sad, but I think he's going to stall out somewhere.
Yeah, I feel it. It's going to be interesting. You know what? That's the combine, and we'll see, because you're going to hear all this talk about the combine and all that shit going on for the next, week and a half, and then you got the draft coming up in April.
Salary cap just went up some crazy number,
Oh,
so now they can throw a bunch of money more at free agents and this kind of thing. I don't even know what that means, right? It's just the same caliber of guy getting more money.
We've already talked about the salary cap. It's really not even a thing. They can manipulate the system. They have this shit. Patrick Mahomes making $500 billion, but he only counts against like 30 million of the cap or some shit. We already know how that works. So there's a way to manipulate it, and every team has the manipulator who can manipulate the salary cap. So anyways, that's a good thing. We can go on that with that forever. But I do want to close this out because you know what? We've given you guys a couple episodes today. We're gonna hit the magnificent 200 in next time we roll on, because we got some 40 mix segments for you. We're gonna keep it short and sweet. We'll be back. It's all good. But let's close this out with this. Shout out to the man, Johnny Manziel.
What do you do now? I know he did
for taking the initiative to boycott the Heisman until Reggie Bush gets his trophy back.
Shout out to him.
So Johnny Manziel's been through a lot of shit. He's back into the realm of reality. He knows he's young and did all that, and now he's back. But this dude, shout out to Johnny Manziel for doing the right thing. I hope he sticks with it. I'm cool with it. What are your thoughts, homie?
Well, I just want to know how he's boycotted. So
he's not showing up to the Heisman ceremony.
So he's
not
won't
going
show up to the ceremony. He's not gonna pop in at the Heisman house.
Nope.
This kind of thing.
He's getting that money at the Heisman house. Well,
right?
He might not
hang out with
anymore.
Barry Sanders. Well, yeah, that's interesting, but it's a good post to stand on because we know what's going on with the situation right now. So if the rules are as they are, if the Major League Baseball decided to say go for what you know with PEDs, how can you disrespect all the people who y'all had on the sideline, right? So it's the same kind of vibe. I personally think it's the same thing. Maybe they don't go, we'll give you your Heisman, but I don't even know how that works because you can't retroactively do it, but you got to at least come out and say, with the times, they can come out and make a statement that said that the times have changed. It's unfortunate that, under the old rules that Reggie Bush, maybe he can be a ceremonial something, but I don't know if they can put him on the stage. I mean, he did win it though. That's just what I'm saying. It's so difficult from a corporate side and a trophy awarding, ranking kind of situation to what they should do. The right thing kind of thing. You know what I mean? So you know how it goes with these fools, man.
I don't know how they take. Yeah, I mean, especially now with all this that's going on, the NIL, we can get into that for days, and I'm not a professional on the NIL. I never claim to be, never want to be, but that's ridiculous. He never should have got his Heisman taken away, and especially now when it comes back to end around. So, it's wild. But, homie, it's good talking to you again, being back face to face via web, but we got a lot of stuff going on. It's going to be a crazy March. We'll get back to it. I don't know. We'll see if we can get back, but I'll tell you what, we're gonna have to do a seg after my little procedure or whatever the fuck we have.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh
yeah, I'm gonna be there with the microphone like Marv Albert doing play-by-play from way downtown. Bang.
I'd fucking hate you, bro. You ain't rolling over to the TC, but you are gonna roll over to the TC this summer, dog. You and the wife have to roll over. We'll kick it. We'll have a good time, but that's for the latter part. We're gonna come back. We got a lot of MLB talk
I can't believe
to
you said
discuss because I have some comments on your boy Shohei and your LAD. We've hit on that before. There's a lot to go on. It's baseball. People think it's dead, but
it is.
Homie,
it ain't getting younger.
We're gonna bring it back. We fix a lot of things, homie. If anybody wants to know, we fixed a lot of things about All-Star games. We fixed a lot of things about NFL. We fixed a lot of things about baseball, MLB. We fixed a lot of things. We have some ideas. So
you see, they took my advice on the see-through pants. You see what I'm saying? You got to get the woman's contingency out to watch the game. See-through pants. That's all you need. And then look what they did. Now it's popping. See what I'm saying? It works. All I got to do is put that in the suggestion box, comment box. Boom. They fired that up. Now look at all the talk. This is what everybody's going to be talking about this year is see-through pants. I'll tell you, we own it.
Bro, I'm telling you one thing, and then I'm closing this out. This is what we're ending on right now. Those fucking jerseys look like a kid's they look like a kid's jersey print, like the preschool, the replicas. 100% look like a preschool print on a men's jersey, and I see that day to day. We've both been there. We both know what those look like. Those letters on the last names on the top of the jerseys look literally like a preschool jersey. And anywhere you go to shop to buy your jerseys, they look like a preschool jersey's name on a men's jersey, which is trash. And Fanatics, you are trash, and you need to get fucking better. MLB, you need to get fucking better too, because that is weak, and you're killing the game.
Quality control.
Yeah, you better go check out your quality controls. That is weak.
Them joints look like they bought them from
Weak
Alibaba or Temu or one of these little sites that are in some different country or something, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, we appreciate you all. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast platform. Go to thisfunner.com for more podcasts and online content. Grab some merch from the Funner family while you're there. Check us out on YouTube, Sports Fix with Sticks. Subscribe and smash the like button. These episodes are all there. Go through, check them out. We appreciate you. Follow me on Twitter at Sticks015. Follow this guy, Anonymous Big Homie, at homie_anonymous. He's back in the game, y'all. He's back. We're ready to get down. So, homie, it's all you, bro.
Man, hey, the NFL was grading teams on a bunch of stuff, man. And the one thing that I picked up on when I was looking through is treatment of the families. How am I an NFL football player? And there's so many teams that get a D or F grade in treatment of families who visit the game. LA Rams house, expensive stadium. You can't have a D. Treat my peoples right, man. You paying them money. My family should at least not be standing outside in a tent. Shout out to that, because that's real. But this is funner.
That was Sports Fix with Sticks. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. If you want to join the show, use the hashtag SticksandSports.
Winners don't make excuses.